Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mexican Conservative. Today, I want to talk about free speech, what you can and can't talk about, and who's trying to stop you. Let's talk about it. Hello, and welcome back. Thank you, any returning listeners, and thank you to any new people who have decided to give this little podcast a chance. I am your host, the Mexican Conservative, and today I wanted to talk about free speech. Is speech truly free in this country? Do we experience it every day? Are there people out there trying to restrict it? Well, I'll tell you right now that we do have free speech in this country. A lot of other people will argue that, well, there's tons of countries that have freedom of speech, they have freedom, they have this, they have that. We're the only country in the world that guarantees some of those things. Our Constitution actually guarantees us the right to freedom of speech. Most other countries around the world do not. Like some people will say, well, if you go to England, they have freedom of speech. Wrong. In England, it is not guaranteed that you have the right to free speech. They actually have a lot of laws in England, Canada, and a lot of other European countries restricting speech. What you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot write. So our country is pretty unique in that aspect that we have that true, honest freedom. We're probably one of the most honest countries in the planet because we have that ability. Many people in here just say what they mean, which I personally think is better that way. It's better to be upfront and honest and just straightforward with whatever you're saying than to be, always trying to weasel around things and find ins and outs to get to your objective. It's like, just say it. Just fucking say it. Okay? Like me, myself, in my normal day-to-day discussions with people, I will say I have the mouth of a sailor. I cuss, I swear, and I really don't care. According to some studies that I've seen out there, they say that people who cuss and swear more are actually more honest than people who don't. Because we have nothing to hide. I'm not going to sugarcoat something. I'm not going to lather it up with pretty words. I'm going to give you the nitty gritty, ugly words because they're going to hit home with you. And that's just part of the problem with our society is that it's become so PC that people are so worried about hurting other people's feelings or offending someone or, oh no, I'm so sorry. Did I say something that hurt you? Words hurt. No, words don't hurt. A punch to the face hurts. A kick to the nuts hurts. Words are just words. They can't hurt you. They can give you ideas. They can make you feel a certain way, but they can't hurt you. I can't pull the word fuck out of my mouth and hit you with it. I can't hurt you with it. But there's a lot of people out there who think that's how it works. That's how the world works. Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that because it might hurt someone. It might offend someone. I mean, when I was growing up in PC culture, it was you can't say certain words because that's just rude, basically. It was rude. You didn't say the N word. You didn't bring up people's race. You didn't use racial slurs because you know what? That's rude. That's wrong. That's inappropriate. Okay, I get that. You're trying to be nice. You're trying to be benevolent. You don't want to say things that are going to just be rude and obnoxious. I get it. But then PC culture changed. And it became, well, now you're offending them. Now this word's offensive. This phrase is offensive. See that guy over there wearing that Kansas City Chiefs jersey with the arrowhead on it? That's now offensive because Native Americans. I was like, well, that's just dumb. You can't just take that stuff away just because it like 5 people get offended. All right. We had a coffee place where I live that was called Beaners. Okay. Every Mexican I knew thought it was hilarious. Beaners, because a derogatory term for a Mexican, for those people who don't know, is a beaner. And all of us thought it was hilarious. We loved the name. We were like, yeah, that's the Mexican coffee joint. That's where we go. And we went in there. We even bought people tried to get hoodies and sweatshirts and stuff because they thought it was just hilarious. And we loved it. Not one Mexican complained about the name of that place. But guess who did? White entitled Karens. That's who complained. They said that the name was offensive. They said this was offensive and that the name needs to be changed because it's offending the Hispanic community. But no one in the Hispanic community complained. Funny how that works, isn't it? They got offended for someone else who wasn't offended. But they were offended for us. Because they were on their white horses coming down from their tall, high towers to meet with us peasants and say, "Do not worry, brown folk. I'm here to speak for you and to protect you from the offensive words that I say are offensive. And I will protect you from all these other derogatory things." But none of us complained, and none of us asked for that type of protection. But they leaned on them hard enough, and the people changed the name of the coffee shop, which was really disappointing. Because again, we all loved it. We thought it was hilarious. And there was a long time that I didn't go there because they caved to this small group of, it was like eight white women that were offended by this. No Mexicans, no Hispanics, no Puerto Ricans, no Guatemalans, none of us. And it was the dumbest thing. And that's just part of that PC culture. Are you free to speak? Are you free to can I call my business this? No. Because there are people out there who will simply have nothing better to do with their lives than to go after you. I'm pretty sure these were a bunch of stay-at-home Karens who had nothing better to do than to be offended for something that they had no right to be offended by. And some people will say, well, they're just trying to stand up for the community. They're trying to be an ally. Oh, no. If there's one thing that you need to learn about the Hispanic community is that if we have a problem with something, you're going to know. We're going to talk about it. We're going to say stuff about it. We're going to bring it up. Hell, we're going to be boisterous about it. And if it's something that we can take care of ourselves, we will do it. And if we need your help, we ain't going to ask for it. We'll just do it ourselves. We don't need you. I mean, white people can just, when it comes to Mexican issues and Hispanic issues, you can just step off to the side. Okay? We don't butt into your business. Stay out of our business. If we're bothered by something, we'll take care of it. We don't need a bunch of, these liberal white knights coming into our rescue. We don't need to be rescued. We'll deal with it. We'll take care of it. It's not an issue. And then it comes down to the fact of part of the reason why I started this podcast. I want to have a place where I can freely speak and others can freely speak. Like, I would love to have guests on here and discuss topics and just have a forum for them to openly discuss. It doesn't matter if they're left, right, center, whatever, but an open forum for people to be able to speak freely. I feel like out there's too many rules and too many things trying to suppress what people say, how they say it, make sure that they, I got to word this like this, I got to talk this like this, or I'll get offended, or I'll get canceled, or I'll get demonetized, or I won't do this, I won't get on here. There has to be some pocket of freedom of speech somewhere, someplace that you can just openly talk. And that's what I want this to be. I'm not going to edit myself. I'm not going to edit what I say. I'm not going to apologize for things that I do say. If I say something and it's taken out of context, well, guess what? It's taken out of context. I'm not apologizing for it. You can go fuck yourself. It's that simple. You don't like what I say? Don't listen. It's that simple. That's how the world works. If you don't like something, don't do it. People want to ban things. It's like, well, then why are you watching it? If you don't like the show, don't watch the show. If you don't like what they're saying, don't listen to what they're saying. You have every right to just walk away from that and let people that you consider to be dumb be dumb. You don't need to sit there and, crawl up their ass and try to force things down people's throats and start a movement and just act all super Karen, super woke, super snowflake all over the place. Grow the fuck up. Seriously. And I think part of it has to do with social media. Everybody thinks that they need to be involved in everybody else's lives. It's like you don't. You really don't. You don't need to be involved in my life. I don't need to be involved in your life. I mean, I could care less of what happens in your life because that's your life. Not my problem, not my issue, not the thing that I'm supposed to be focusing on. But you got to think about it. It's just, there's so many things now that are attacking what you can and cannot say that it's nuts. It's really nuts. And then people think it's a good thing when they want to restrict what people can and cannot say. It's like, you don't understand. It's a domino effect. The minute you flick that domino over saying, oh, you can't say the N-word, that is banned, and white people can't say it, whatever. You flick that domino over, it falls. It doesn't just fall flat. It hits the next one. What's the next word that's going to get banned? You can't say this. You can't say this. You can't say this. You can't. And it keeps going. And eventually, once they take out all the opposition's words, guess what's left? Your words. Things that liberals say will start getting banned. And then those bans not only lead to that, but now you can't say these things publicly anymore. You can't be on YouTube saying these things. We're going to shut you down. It's like people don't understand it. It's like there's more to it than just, oh, well, you just can't say that word. No, because that's how it starts. Everything starts with a single flick of that domino, and then it just all starts to fall down. You cannot name one point in history where they started banning things that you can say or show, and that went well. It's just like taking people's right to defend themselves away by taking guns away. What nation on the planet and what government has turned out to be a good government after they've seized people's weapons? None. And they're like, oh, well, Australia. Yeah, Australia still has some guns, but guess what? The majority of them are gone. And they don't have a right to freedom of speech. They don't have all the rights that we enjoy. Why? Because the government's not going to give it to them. Why would they? They ain't got no guns. They can't do nothing about it. Oh, they're going to vote? Oh, yeah. Yeah, go vote. For all these people that hang out with each other in country clubs after the vote's done. And then are getting slipped $100,000 in their back pocket by whichever lobbyist is first in line. You go over to England, and if you actually ever watch some of their parliamentary proceedings, it's complete just garbage, absolute garbage. They don't care anything about what their constituents want. They're just there to push their agenda and the agenda of their lobbyists. It's like, what are these people even voting for in England? They're going to pass whatever rules, laws, and stuff that they want, and they don't have to do anything you say. Because once they're in office, they literally stop listening. It's just a crazy, it's like a Rube Goldberg machine where one thing starts and it just keeps going and going and going until all these crazy events happen, and next thing you know, you're in Soviet Russia. I mean, the Soviet Union didn't start out the way it ended. It started out as supposed to be this next, workers' utopia. And then what happened? Mass murdering, massacres, gulags, people afraid to say what they think, the restricting of everything. Everything. What is that saying is like, what, there's a drop in a bucket or eventually will make an ocean or something. I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. But it's just, you can't allow it to happen. And that's the one thing I would say is like, if you're going to go out there in the world, say what you want to say what you mean. Don't be a dickbag about it though. Don't just walk out in the world to be an asshole and start just being mean, rude, and inconsiderate. Because that's what I was taught growing up. Don't be rude, mean, and inconsiderate. Be honest. But you don't have to go out there and start calling people spics or beaners or something like that. That's just rude. That's just inconsiderate. That's being a dickbag. But if somebody says something you don't like, speak up about it. Don't hold back on it. Don't let people try to intimidate you into not saying something, because they'll start using terms and phrases like, they'll start throwing things at you to make you afraid. So you won't say what you really want to say. I mean, I've had people on social media already trying to threaten me, saying they're going to report me to Facebook. They're going to report my page and, oh, you'll be gone in a week. I'm going to file this complaint. I'm going to do this. And you're a bigot and you're this and you're that. It's like, go ahead. I have not said anything on any of my podcasts that would warrant me to get banned. At least not yet. They just want to shut you down immediately because your opinion is different than theirs. Because they just think that they can have all this power. I'm like, oh, well, if I say you're a racist, that means you're done. And that everything you ever loved is gone. And we're going to burn your house down and drag you into the streets and parade you around as the racist as we throw rotten tomatoes at you. I mean, I'm sure that's what these people fantasize about. Like on a day-to-day basis of just like dragging people they don't like through the streets in like some kind of medieval display. At least that's the way they talk to me on social media when they make comments directly towards me or towards my channel or towards my page or anything I got going on. And it's just crazy, the level of insanity. But see, I believe in free speech. So they can say that stuff, and I'm okay with them saying that stuff. It's like, you can say all the crazy, insane things that you want to say. Go ahead, do it. I mean, literally do it. I mean, you can put you're just putting yourself out there as an insane person. And I would love for the world to see you for what you are. Be insane, be crazy. I'm going to be over here supporting your right to do so. I mean, because that's what it really comes down to. I know some people on the right side of things thinks that they should be able to shut these people down on the left the same that they're shutting people on the right down. Nah, that's not how it works. Never stoop to their level. Never ever drop down to that point, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to come to the dark side. They want you to slowly get so angry that you start agreeing with them and going, yes, we must ban things. Yeah. Become Darth Vader. Yes, my apprentice. With the Emperor. Ban these words. Yes. That's exactly what they want. They want you to do that. They want you to become them. Don't become them. Support your right to be free and to say what you want. And support the people you don't like to be free and say what they want. That's the only way that this works, is that both sides have that right. We can't take it away from each other. We can't tear each other down and take that, because that's one of those most important fundamental things in this country, is the right to tell both sides you're a douchebag asshole, and both sides have the right to say it. And that's just what I believe. Thanks for listening to it. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me on this little rant today. Hey, if you're looking for me, you can find me on Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. This video and everything on it will be posted to all of those. So like, comment, subscribe, follow, like my Facebook page. I mean, if you like what I'm saying, let me know. If you don't like what I'm saying, let me know. If you have an opinion on it, let me know. All right, you guys stay safe out there. Have a good one.